Hello everybody, and welcome to another fun-filled lesson brought to you by yours truly, Daniel Jones, lead educator and headmaster of AzMagickSchool, located online at www.azmagickSchool.com. Now, today we are going to be dealing with Cursology 1 class, and we'll go ahead and get right into it because we have a couple things to cover today and not a lot of time. So bear with me here, and everybody, please email me or get a hold of me if there is something else you think I need to add to the discussion. Okay, so getting started, everybody, just so you're aware, we are going to be reading from Nocturnal Witchcraft, Magic After Dark by Constantinos for this particular course's reading material. Okay, now, real quick, what we're going to do for this lesson to get started, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to read the section titled About the Author. We're going to read Right to the Author, and then we're going to read the section titled Introduction. And then we will move on from there. However, right now, let's go ahead and get started. So, about the author. Constantinos has a bachelor's degree in journalism and technical writing and is a published author of articles and short fiction. This is his fourth book published by Llewellyn. He is also the author of Vampires, The Occult Truth, Summoning Spirits, The Art of Magical Evocation, Contact the Other Side, 7 Methods of Afterlife Communication, and Gothic Grimoire. A dark neo-pagan, Constantinos has been researching the occult and practicing magic for over 15 years. Now, just so everybody's aware, I was born in '89. I started practicing when I was 11, back around 2000. It's now 2015. So, well, 2000, 2001. So I've been practicing within a year of the same time span as Constantinos. I've practiced Wicca, Voodoo, Cursology, Technomancy, Alchemy, you name it, I've dabbled in it. He is also a trained stage mentalist who uses these skills to debunk fraudulent affectations of the supernatural. Constantinos often lectures on paranormal topics at bookstores and colleges. He also devotes time to singing Gothic rock music and to exploring nocturnal life both in New York City and around the country. Excuse me for a moment. Down to earth here. All right. To write to the author. If you wish to contact the author or would like more information about this book, please write to the author in care of Llewellyn Worldwide, and we will forward your request. Both the author and publisher appreciate hearing from you and learning of your enjoyment of this book and how it has helped you. Llewellyn Worldwide cannot guarantee that every letter written to the author can be answered, but all will be forwarded. Please write to, and I'm going to display the address on the screen, and you should pause the video if you want to copy down the address so you can write to it. If that was not sufficient length, just email me and I will email you back Konstantinos' address through Llewellyn Worldwide. That way you guys can write to him if you need anything or have any more questions that I cannot answer. All right, now let's go ahead and move on to the introduction section of Nocturnal Witchcraft Magic After Dark. This section is titled, Are You One of Night Kind? Do you dress in black? Favor silver jewelry? Does being surrounded by the shadows, by the essence of night, appeal to you? Such dark tendencies may have manifested in you very early in life, affecting more than just the way you dress, the books you read, and the music you listen to. Perhaps your nocturnal nature awakened in you a need for an alternative spirituality. At first, this calling might have resulted in a desire to become aware of the unseen world. That urge likely evolved into a sense that there is something almost tangible in the night, calling you. You are not alone. If you picked up this book, you may just be one of those souls who walk an often misunderstood spiritual path. You may be one of night kind. Traditional Wicca and other occult currents may have looked enticing at first, but could have left you feeling a bit alienated, as was the case with Konstantinos. Most of these paths have evolved through group input to suit the greatest common denominator, or to resonate with those who favor both solar and lunar energies. Some of us live for the night, however. Some of us only feel a need for the light of the moon. Yet where to look for mysteries related to our nature? Most occult books that approach the subject of darkness do so in a flawed way, assuming all their readers are seeking evil rights. If you're like me, however, you don't consider yourself evil, don't feel any attraction to the shallow philosophies of those who worship the devil. You know inherently that the concepts of dark and light have nothing to do with good and evil. As we'll see in Chapter 1, the soul is guided by an essence, in our case a nocturnal lure, that does not determine one's spiritual destiny, but the route taken to get there. This book is for all who know that the nocturnal path is for them. I hope you'll find in the craft of night everything that you seek. Of course, not everyone reading this book seeks to closely follow the current described within. That's fine too. We're all meant to resonate with varying shades of light and dark, to make the universe a diverse place. Perhaps you've sought out this alternative guide to witchcraft because you wish to see if it contains any new rites or practices that you can incorporate into your own version of the craft or other mystical path. I promise you'll find such new experiences within. Imagine divining with the night and reading minds, or enhancing your personal magnetism and affecting how others perceive you. How about taking spellcasting to a level you thought only possible in fantasy novels? You will learn how to alter reality, as well as master contacting aspects of the unseen world in ways you never thought possible. The gods and goddesses of night await you in the pages that follow, as do other universal energies, some as misunderstood as perhaps you felt yourself to be. Be you night-kind or curious seeker, welcome. We're about to explore together nocturnal mysteries that have never before been gathered in one place. All right, So, now that we've gotten the introduction section, the right to the author section, and the about the author section read in reverse respective order, we will go ahead and move on to discussing real quick the comparison and contrasting natures of light and dark magic. Now, really quick, brief definition of what light magic is, in your headmaster's opinion. Light magic is magic that is practiced by healers and Wiccans, generally, and basically it is nothing more than either holy magic or magic that has no form of affliction cast into it. Dark magic, very basic definition. Dark magic is the aspect of magic that is practiced by not only nocturnal practitioners, but Satanists and practitioners of voodoo as well. Dark magic involves Cursology, or the practice of performing curses, as well as jinxes, hexes, and other negatively afflicting charms. You can go on to Google.com or Wikipedia.com, which in this school's opinion are both respected educational sources, and you can gather the proper respective accumulative definitions of what light magic and dark magic actually are. And I will respect those as well. Don't worry, I've done a Google search on both definitions myself, so I'm pretty familiar with any phrasing or terminology that you all may want to use. All of which will be graded, and don't forget, all of these grades are kept in my files for a later date whenever I hopefully become accredited. At this point, your degree will be recognized among the Wiccan community, however, not among the educational one. Now, moving on, we need to discuss the 4 soul types listed in the book. Now, I'm going to read through this section as quick as I can, and we're going to go from there. Let me know if you guys have any questions, and if I don't cover something, I will try to create another video and affix it to this lessons page. That way everybody gets an in-depth version of their course reading. Now, moving on. The 4 soul types. If you focus for a moment on the white space surrounding our simple diagram, you'll see that it makes up 4 quadrants. It is in one of these 4 that a soul's particular lifetime can be mapped. Remember, plotting geometric points on a graph in high school? There, you would mark a point by noting its x and y coordinates, or how far away from center, up or down, and left or right it was. In much the same way, we can identify a soul type by how good or evil and dark or light it may be. The closer to the center one is in either axis, the more neutral he or she is with respect to that axis' pair of energies. In other words, we come to see that there are 4 categories of individuals possible, and that people in each type can possess varying degrees of the category's essence. Starting in the upper left corner of the cross's white space and moving counterclockwise, the 4 soul types are good light, evil dark, and good dark. Some of us are more good or evil than others, some more drawn to darkness or light, but we still fall somewhere within one of the 4 soul types. We'll touch briefly on the first 3, then focus more intensely, according to Konstantinos, on the last one, the one whose energies we'll be working with in this book. Now, good light is the soul type that most people are really referring to when they mention or think of the concept of good. People in this category include many, but not all, Wiccans and so-called New Agers. But one doesn't need to walk a spiritual path to be in this category. Anyone who is moral, loves brightness, and spreads joy honestly is good light. These are also often the people who feel uplifted, for instance, by major key music and inspirational fiction, or feel-good tales. As an extreme example, some of the world's religious founders, such as Christ and Buddha, were of this soul type. Whether the followers of such masters and the infrastructures of their and other organized religions live up to the good light label, however, is open for debate. Speaking of living up to a path, were someone to fail at being good light, there is a decent chance they'd end up evil light. An overlooked type, evil light is the sinister companion to good light, and the trickiest of the four groups to identify. Those of this soul type seem at a glance to be moral individuals. Evil light people may gather around them all the trappings of asceticism and harmony, or just what the masses perceive as being bright and positive. But behind the facade, the evil light have given up trying to be better individuals. Consider a corrupt televangelist. Feel free to do some digging into your memories or your library's newspaper archives if you feel this is only a stereotype, because it's not. Evil light televangelists would surround themselves with light themes and choir song, yet bilk their followers of millions, yet milk their followers of billions. Millions and billions, actually. Claiming that the gathered cash is going towards something other than a new Mercedes or Tudor mansion. Other evil light can include righteous activists who let the end justify the means. For example, pro-lifers who bomb abortion clinics. Now, the abortion rights for women is a very touchy subject right now, especially considering over the last 5 years here in America, women have albeit lost all of their rights to their own body, which men have no justifiable right to dictate. We as a society need to remember that, because men don't have a uterus, men don't go through menstruation, men don't have hormones. We have a form of hormones that control hair growth and other obstacles in the male body that we overcome through puberty. However, we do not deal with anywhere near the chemical processes and the physical complications that women do in concern with their bodies and getting pregnant. Pregnancy should be a discernible right to women only. If you cannot give birth to a child, do not expect to be able to mandate the rights that dictate the ability to do so. Evil light can even encompass corrupt executives who give to charity as a good tax write-off. And frequent marry parties and even church, but who cheat in their business and personal dealings without regard for others. Evil dark, the true opposite of good light, is the category that most people simplistically label as evil. Remember, the four categories can manifest in people in varying degrees. In the realm of the occult, evil dark individuals can be the often harmless devil worshippers who value material goods and fun over their souls and the welfare of others. Or can be the more sadistic individuals who perform black magic and human sacrifice. In the everyday world, common criminals often fit this category, although they can just as easily be evil light. Remember, the two evil soul types are ones of failure. Whether a fallen one was good light or good dark before his or her soul turns sour determines usually whether he or she will become evil light or evil dark. Unfortunately, most people are unaware of the nature of soul types and mistake good dark ones as being bad. This is not surprising, corresponding that evil dark people like devil worshippers get the most public attention, being ever vigilant for opportunities to spread their sinister propaganda. Conversely, the good dark who succeed at the ultimate goal of adepthood or spiritual mastery do not attract as much attention, being mostly silent about their accomplishments. Who are these good dark? What makes someone a potential night kind or nocturnal witch? Allow me to violate traditional writing style here. Although Constantinos has listed the 4 soul types and explained 3 of them, he says we're going to pause for a moment before revealing the divining forces behind the good dark. We will see why, apparently, as we read on. Now, who are the good dark? You likely already know the answer. If it's your soul type in this life, you could explain it to me using the specifics that apply to you. And if you don't feel it's your soul type, good dark's energies, at least the ones I've hinted at so far, Constantinos, would seem different than the ones you feel, us, the reader. And you'd be able to explain the soul type by way of contrast. Either way, you know what good dark means through personal experience. I'll just add some of my ideas to the mix here, also by calling on experience. Now, having identified the types of callings that good dark feel, I'll refrain from giving too many examples of who those people may be. We are an elusive lot. One of the good examples here is a phrase that Constantinos has written on page 15 in the middle of the page. And it states, when the essence of the shadows and darkness empowers you, yet you don't feel evil, you are good dark. You'll find good dark in both mystical and more material roles. The former type we'll explore in this book, the latter you see every day. Good dark are more than just those who frequent dark nightclubs and never harm anyone. Night kind can take many forms. Sometimes a good dark person will feel the need to reflect his or her nature and choice of profession. A detective who works by night, chasing down crime while surrounded by settings that most find morbid, is likely good dark, as is an artist who feels great joy in sharing his or her dark work with the world. And, possibly the most relevant example, good dark may be someone like you. Maybe I can spare you some of the searching I went through. In Chapter 3, we'll take a brief look at how Constantinos found the gods and goddesses of night, and delve into how we may contact them ourselves. Let's continue now, or later, with a look at how nightkind's nature meshes with the tenets of witchcraft. Okay, so thank you everybody for being so patient in the reading. That concludes our overall lesson work. And I'm going to go ahead and start going over the homework. We're at 24 minutes and 25 seconds, and I'm going to try to get this done in 25 and a half minutes. So bear with me, everyone. Now, homework for this lesson. Section 1 homework. You will need, on your own, to complete the compare and contrast and define paper concerning light and dark magics before the airing of the next lesson's video. Now, there will be a section under this course for you to do so. Just like every other piece of homework, you will put your full name, date, email address, and phone number, and then you will fill in the blank space which pertains to the particular lesson's homework. Now, Section 2. After the initial discussion which we've had here, you will need to determine which of the 4 soul types you are. On the website, www.azmagickSchool.com or azmagickschool.com. In the proper class area, which is Cursology 1 class, you will need to submit a 2-paragraph assignment describing your soul type and what knowing which one you are means to you or how it affects your everyday life. Now again, there will be a specific area for you to put your full name, date, email address, and phone number and contribute your response to this lesson. That concludes our discussion. Thank you very much, everybody. Again, I'm Daniel Jones, yours truly, the lead educator and headmaster at AzMagickSchool.com, and I hope you enjoyed this lesson. I will be bringing another one to you soon. Thank you very much, and as always, everyone, blessed be, and have a great week.